What's up everyone, this is Gourmet Grind and we're about to go to the grocery store and get some ingredients for our episode today. What are we gonna do?
Today we're gonna be making a tomato sauce that you can use. Super simple, super tasty. This really goes with a lot of different dishes out here, so honestly one of the top best sauces that we can make out here any day.
Yep. And we are back from the store. We picked up all the ingredients. We had a little bit of a mishap. Do you want to tell us what happened at the store?
So we headed down there to the store, headed to the first one. Little did we know, it's Boxing Day. First supermarket we go to, closed. Second supermarket we go to, closed. But thank the heavens, thanks Super Value for always being there to having our back.
Super Value, thank you very much. Alright, so today we're going to be making a tomato sauce, which you can make in about 18 minutes, and it's super easy, super simple. So what we have here is we have garlic, we have basil, we have some parmesan, some spaghetti. I would recommend using the ketchup, but this one was the only one we had available. Then we have whole peeled plum tomatoes, and we have some cherry tomatoes. I think that's it. So first of all, we're gonna bring our water up to a boil, and we are gonna season it pretty heavily with some salt. Not all the salt's gonna go in the pasta, but in the water it should be as salty as a sea, as they say in Italy, because it helps season the pasta, since the pasta is an ingredient. So next we're gonna just chop up some garlic. Gonna give it a smash. You want about 4 cloves of garlic. This garlic clove is gigantic, so we're gonna just use 3. So I have my garlic peeled here, and we're just gonna give it a nice slice. You want these very thinly sliced so that the oil absorbs all the flavor of the garlic pretty nicely. There's our garlic chopped nicely and thinly. So you want to pan on about medium-high heat, and we're just going to pour in some extra virgin olive oil. Probably about 3 tablespoons or so. And we are going to go in with our garlic and some red chili flakes. Here they are. So why you want to do this ahead of time is because this allows the oil to be infused with the flavor of the garlic and the chili. And then next we're going to head in with some cherry tomatoes. Just going to lay these in just like that. And these will soften up pretty nicely as time goes on. Garlic is already starting to get brown, so this means that we need to add our tomatoes. So we're just going to directly add our tomatoes in here. What you want to do is just squeeze all the tomatoes. You can either do this by hand or you can do it with a wooden spoon, it doesn't really matter. And if you like it very, very creamy, then you can just use a food mill or a food processor if you like. But I like to use the wooden spoon, so it kind of gives it a nice rustic texture. We're gonna go in with 1/2 more of tomatoes. Just like that. And we're just gonna smash these again, just like that. Next, we want to season our tomatoes with a good amount of salt, and we're gonna add a little bit of pepper. So next, you take your empty can of peeled plum tomatoes and you fill it up with water, and we are going to rinse out the can. And I filled it up about halfway. we're gonna bring this to a nice simmer. Now as this is coming to a simmer, we're just gonna lay in some basil leaves and we're gonna mix that in, and these are gonna come out later on so we can replenish it with fresh basil. But this is just for flavor. Now, for pasta, so I'm sure everybody has already heard of al dente. Al dente means to the tooth in Italian. And you can always find the cooking time on the front of the package right there. This one says 6 minutes. For our pasta, we're gonna leave it in the water, boiling water, for 4 minutes, which is 2 minutes under al dente. And then we're gonna finish cooking it off in the sauce.
Now, why is it important that we finish cooking it in the sauce?
It's important to finish off cooking it in the sauce because then all the sauce gets absorbed into the pasta and it gets nice and creamy. So as you can see here, our cherry tomatoes are getting very nice and soft, and we're just gonna go in with our wooden spoon and start popping them. And the cherry tomatoes are extra sweet, so it's gonna add a lot of nice different flavors to the sauce. Is this a spoon?
It's a spatula.
I guess I should technically know that. You don't want to get it ripping boiling either, so you want it a nice simmer, which is just nice little bubbling. It's starting to get a little bit too hot, so we're gonna turn the heat down and add just a little bit more salt. And as you go along, always just taste your sauce. Could even use a little bit more salt, honestly. We're gonna let that reduce just a little bit, and then next, when this is about halfway reduced and nice and thick, we are going to add in our pasta and we're gonna let that cook down. We'll see in a little bit.
Remember, kids, when it starts steaming a lot, put open your the thing above your stove so that you don't get all the steam and all the smoke into your kitchen. That's a pro tip for you guys out there, all you chefs at home. Spreadable cheese out here, and then you just want to go.
Look at that, bro.
Now, as the cheese does go grinding down, you want to be careful for your fingers. You want to make sure that you're not grinding part of your fingers in there. It doesn't really make for great taste, and a trip to A&E is never part of any successful dinner. You know.
You notice here. My finger, this is what happens when you get your hand stuck in a cheese grater. Not a fun experience.
Now, when you really start getting to the end of your cheese, what you really want to do is when it gets too small for you to hold, is just simply eat the rest part of it. Easy as that. It's a little reward for all this hard work you're doing. So,
now we're sitting on that cheese, bro.
Never enough. Almost done. Never finished. Now, as we're looking here, we see my fingers are pretty much pressed up right to it. We're seeing pieces breaking off. And then once again, finally, you got to the best part. Reward yourself.
Alright, let's reveal.
Une, deux, trois, et voila!
Voila!
There we go, look at all of that.
Bravissimo.
So that's enough for about 1 serving per person. What you want is 45% cheese, rest of it meal.
Those are not exact calculations. Okay, so yeah, our sauce is getting really thick right now. Honestly, we may have made a little bit too much sauce, but that's fine. The good thing is that you can just put this in the refrigerator and use it next week. We're gonna turn down the heat right now. The sauce is already pretty thick as it is, and that's enough sauce for me and Jeroen. And now we are just gonna go in with our cheese. Okay, so I put about 1.5 handfuls of Parmesan cheese in here. Don't worry, it's really super thick right now. We're gonna use some of the pasta water to help loosen it up a little bit. We can add in just a little bit of our sauce. Oh, that's perfect. That nice orange color. And we're just gonna go in with a spoon and taste it. Oh yes, this is delicious. Perfect. All right, take that off the heat. And we're gonna put in our pasta. So the general rule for pasta, it's about 100 to 120 grams per person. Now we have about 250 grams of pasta, which is gonna be enough for the two of us. And we're just gonna place that into the bowl. A cool little technique about putting pasta in is just take your pasta like this with 2 fingers and then twist it and then drop it in. And then that way, everything kind of settles in nicely by itself. You don't even need to touch it. I mean, you can just take your spoon or spatula and just push it on in there. No need to add oil. I don't use oil. As long as you give it one good stir every now and then, it'll be fine. It won't stick at all. While that's cooking, we took our sauce off the heat because it was getting a little too thick, so we're gonna put it back on the heat with the pasta, 2 minutes under al dente, reminding you. And we're gonna finish that off. It's gonna be nice and hot and delicious. Here is a trick to make the pasta look really nice and circular when you serve it. Take a ladle like this, and if you have one of these laying around your house, go find it, because we're gonna take our spaghetti and we're gonna twirl it inside the ladle right here, and that's gonna be a very nice presentation device. I'll show you that in a little bit.
Now remember, everybody, this is our snack cheese.
It's also our garnishing cheese, so don't eat all of it.
Don't tell me what to do.
Told you, be careful. So we're coming up on 4 minutes right now. Just gonna give it a quick little taste. Go a little bit longer. It should be soft on the outside and have like a little bit of a tight, tight bite inside the middle. But it's a little bit too crunchy right now. Go a little bit longer. That reminds me, the pasta water. Take a mug like this and retrieve this pasta water. This pasta water, if you haven't heard, is liquid gold. The reason why it's liquid gold is because it has a bunch of starch from the pasta, which we need for the sauce, and it's gonna help loosen the sauce up and make it nice and creamy. So we're gonna transfer our pasta into the sauce. Okay, so we're gonna put our pan back on medium heat, and that way we can finish cooking the pasta to al dente. And we're gonna use our tongs right here, and we are gonna mix everything in nicely. Make sure that you do not have a non-stick skillet, because never use metal in a non-stick skillet. It destroys the Teflon and it's not good for you. So what I'm doing is just using my hand right here, and I'm pushing back and forth, and I'm using a circular motion. And as you can see, the pasta is getting nice and covered. This is what pasta is made for. It's supposed to be a vehicle for the pasta sauce. And stop putting the sauce on top of the pasta without any of the pasta being coated, because that does not enhance any of the flavor. Look at that. Beautiful, creamy. Perfect. Okay. Now, get our 2 bowls. Thank you. And what we're gonna do, like I said earlier, we're gonna use our ladle, and we're gonna use our spatula. What is this called?
I have no idea.
All right, we're just gonna use this thing,
Our forky thing.
our forky thing, and we're just gonna twist this in here. And look at that. Very nice and beautiful like that. And just keep doing that until you have enough portion for one. We're gonna finish it off with some parmesan. And I sliced up some basil, and we're gonna just top it off like this.
Alright, so when you're watching the video and you feel like, oh, I could really love a lot more text right now, just a lot more just not moving pictures, just straight up, just right there, line after line, listing all that out. If you don't like our personalities, we got a website. Everything, all the information, everything we're putting in here, all this kind of stuff, all these techniques, all this cooking, all the plating, all these are on our website. Blogs written by our very own Justin, by other people who are coming in and helping out. This is going to be a great, massive opportunity. So if you want to go ahead, head over to our website, gourmetgrindfood.com, and check it out. Thank you.
You heard it here first. So there's gonna be some leftover sauce at the end. This is when you can top it off with a little bit of sauce. Just right there on top. And we're gonna go in with the finishing touch. We're gonna finish it off with a little tiny basil leaf. And look at that, it's perfect. All right, thanks. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below what your favorite pasta is, and maybe we'll make it in a future episode.